Hello and welcome to Sega News Bits Extra. I'm your host George, and with me is Barry.
I'm extra happy today.
If you like this content and you want to support us, check out our Patreon. We have a lot of tiers. This is one of the shows we usually give out in the Patreon for our supporters. But this month, since the first, it's free. But let's get right into the news. The first bit of news we're going to be talking about is Shenmue 3 showing off the new Land D model. And it's kind of interesting because Wisenet, is that how you say their name? Yuzuzuki's company basically posted this screenshot, and they're teasing that they're gonna have a brand new trailer on March 9th at Monaco, Magic 2019, which is like an event they have over there. They did this last year too. They had that one trailer that got leaked, and everybody was like, it looks like crap, and then it was obviously work in progress, so we kind of did judge it, but like, I don't know why you would show that kind of stuff if it's work in progress. So we're gonna see a brand new trailer. Hopefully this is retail build, at least, because it's getting close to the release date of the game, which is August 27th. What do you think about this Land D model?
I think it looks awesome. I'm almost wondering if it was like touched up a little bit, because it looks so nice.
It does, and he's very like barrel-chested. I mean, was he this way in the game, or is it just the angle they have the picture on?
I think it's the angle, but yeah, you're right. He does have, looks like his boobs are a little bigger.
He's been doing push-ups, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And so this is the only thing that they've shown us, and again, we always talk about this when the game is brought up. Why do you think they're being so secretive? You think it's because of the bad feedback they've gotten about the mouth syncing and all that stuff?
Honestly, I feel like they just don't have a good marketing team behind this. I also think they're making some silly decisions like Magic 2019. What the hell is that? We wouldn't have known about it if there wasn't Shenmue stuff showing at it. And it's actually a convention led by the producer of Shenmue 3, Cedric Biscay. And so it's like, he's like, I get first dibs. And it's like, why aren't you guys at E3? Why aren't you guys at any major convention, you know, even in, you know, Europe or something like that? Like, why are you at Magic 2019? What is this? And there's also an Edge magazine out there, and I don't know. I mean, this isn't what we're covering for this story, but It just kind of annoys me that I'm a Kickstarter backer. I don't have that Edge magazine information, and it's supposed to be like a lot of info about the game.
And it hasn't leaked online either. I know you were talking about how you wanted to do an episode of Sega News Bits on the actual magazine and information on it, but I guess people are saying it contains spoilers, so I'm a little hesitant on that one.
Yeah.
Have you seen anything yet?
I've seen like bulleted lists of information about what's in there, but it's really sparse. Just talking about the combat system, talking about mini games. It was interesting. There was one bit they talked about where you would gain the trust of locals. So when you come up to them at first, you're like, "Excuse me, I'm looking for this," and they go, "Go away." But then after a while, once you're around them and doing tasks and things, they'll be like, "Oh, Rio, hello, yeah," you know. So it's it sounds like an improvement over the original games. Remember, I've been replaying them, and I forgot how many times people are just like, "Go away."
Yeah, but it's also the innovation that they did, right? Like, before it was just Final Fantasy VII. Like, Final Fantasy VII wasn't so long before Shenmue, the first one.
Yeah.
Huge leap right there. And it's nice that they're evolving, because you could see that maybe that was one of his ideas he had in the original game, but the technology and all those dialogue options weren't there for storage like it is now.
That's true.
Very cool. The next story we're going to be touching on is Team Sonic Racing adds Hidden Volcano as new racing track, which is basically like a lava zone with some, well, you're in a mountain that's an iceberg, so there's fire and ice.
Yeah.
So it's Sonic Boom, Fire and Ice again, but no Sonic Boom characters this time.
Yeah.
Sorry. But yeah, what do you think about this racing track? And like, I'm always the same. I'm like, oh, that's cool, but okay. What do you think?
I think it's cool. I was surprised that it's not based on any existing game. I like that they're doing some original stuff in this, so that's nice. I think the screenshots look really cool. Honestly, I think the extra time they're putting into this is paying off because the game just looks a lot more interesting. I'm very interested to see obviously the finished product, but I really want to compare those early trailers we got to what the final game will be, so we can get an idea of, just how much more improvements they've been doing. Even the renders look better, I think.
Yeah, I really want to see what they're doing with single player mode, because one of my favorite things about Transforms was all the little challenges they gave you. I think that's a big thing that Mario does not have. Like, when you play Mario, it's just, you Grand Prix, and that's it. Oh, pricks. I mean, sorry, sorry. Now I'm getting flashbacks on the comment section. Sorry, guys.
I know, right? Well, we need to make t-shirts now. Grand Prix.
For our next Sega News Bits story, we're going to be talking about the historical Sega Enterprise HQ building being torn down. And this is actually a big deal. Yuji Naka actually tweeted about it, and he's really heartbroken. He said, "It's sad that the former Sega HQ building is going away. I remember making all kinds of games in my 22 years there. It may be on the edge of Tokyo, but it was truly an honor to be able to reach the world from there. It's too bad. I love Sega Enterprises." And he also posted some of the pictures you can see in the background with him and his kids in the HQ that it's abandoned. People have been saying in the comments that on Twitter saying, "Oh, Sega's so broke they have to destroy their building." They actually moved closer to Tokyo, and so it's actually a better location for them. They did the same thing in San Francisco, and the same stories came out, and the same comments came out that they're so broke that they had to shut down and move somewhere else. But maybe it's half true, but not this time. This building is being torn down by I guess the government, because it's abandoned. A lot of people have been saying they should be a historical monument or building. Do you think the place that the birth of Sonic the Hedgehog and a bunch of Sega games should get that?
I think at least a statue or a plaque should be placed there. I'm not so, I guess, nostalgic about office buildings. They come and go. Like, if we were talking about that original Sega building with, that we have that black and white picture with the big pinball machine, like that building, then I'd be like, no, don't tear that down. But like this thing, it's a big glass structure. I think the important thing is that what happened there came out of there and made their impact on the world, and the people who worked there are still doing their thing. Now, if they started tearing the place down and Yuji Naka was inside, and we're like, no, you're gonna kill Yuji Naka, and they're like, sorry guys.
Sorry everybody, we have everybody from the old Sega is in there, and they're just gonna tear it all down. All the heroes you love, they can't they're not allowed to leave. They're like tied to like a boiler. There's
a funny tweet, I don't know if you saw it, but he was saying, yeah, I took my kids and I pointed out that's where Daddy invented Sonic, and they said, oh, cool. And then he said, there was a group of people there, and I thought they were there to see the Sega building, but they were just playing Pokemon Go.
Oh, yeah.
What a kick to the nuts that must be.
Yeah. And so I'm like you. I don't think buildings are that big of a deal. Would I like to see it maybe stay? But like, what does a building offer that it's history? Like, if Sega actually put some money into it and they like put a bunch of statues and old promotional materials and made it kind of like a museum where you would make money out of it, I guess, to keep it up and running, that'd be pretty cool, because Sega has a lot of history with arcades and obviously consoles that we love. The last story we're doing is Analogue Mega SG to include unreleased title Ultra Core from Battlefield developers DICE. And this is a game that they did in 1994 that wasn't released on the Sega Genesis. The company that's doing the Mega SG got a hold of it, and it's coming to their not officially licensed Sega Mega Drive / Genesis console. What is your thoughts on this and the whole idea of all these Mega Drives coming out?
Yeah, I'm surprised that Sega hasn't taken them to court over this, just because it's probably going to eat into their sales for the upcoming Sega Genesis Mega Drive Mini. But this thing looks really cool. I think this is a really neat selling point. I'm not big into the Battlefield games. I'm not a big DICE fan, but I understand the importance of this. And it's the original game was called Hardcore, but due to legal issues, they're renaming it Ultra Core. And it's cool that there's a legitimate game from that era being released on it. We get a lot of these cheaper ones coming out, and it's like, oh, it's a Pong clone on it for free,
Yeah, those at games that they create themselves.
So I think it's a great idea. I don't think it'll sell me on it. In fact, I'd probably just seek out the ROM and play it for free on my computer. But
yeah, I agree with you. Like, is this the thing that puts them over the edge? I think Sega obviously has a huge advantage on this. Like, when they do their Mega Drive, I really hope they think about what these other companies are doing, like doing unreleased games. Like, I want to see unreleased games that Sega has under their lock and key, and at least let us play a prototype and have a little history lesson in the console. Like, that'd be pretty cool. That's something that nobody else has done. So this is kind of a good idea. I hope that when Sega does the Mega Drive / Genesis one that they've been teasing since last year, that they think of something like this.
And I wanted to plug our Discord a little bit. We've been discussing the Mega Drive Mini over there, actually. There's a Twitter post from Sega of Japan where they're saying, which game do you like? Pick Sonic 1 or Sonic 2. Pick Puyo Puyo 1 or Puyo Puyo 2. And some people are saying, oh, this means that the Mega Drive Mini is only going to have like one game from each major franchise. And we were debating, some people there are like, that's a great idea. I don't understand how you can say that's good. Like, I like having one game compared to 4.
Yeah, it's not a good idea. And maybe if they have some sort of like storage, like we talked about in the past, like connecting it to the internet and adding more games so you won't get bored of it, that makes sense. But right away telling them like, you want Sonic 3? Nope, sorry, it's not in here. Oh, you want Sonic 2? Nope, that's not in here either.
Yeah.
It's not a good idea. You have to have the classics.
Absolutely. I think the big selling point of the NES Mini was they were like, you get every Zelda game that was on the console, you get every Mario game, and if they bring this out and they're like, you get every Streets of Rage, you get every Golden Axe, every Sonic, I mean, I'd get it day one, even though I own all those games, so...
Yeah, it's a nice... It's funny because when we were talking about the Super Nintendo or the PlayStation 1 Classic, I was on the edge. I was like, I already have these games. But when it comes to Sega, me and you, yeah, I'll buy it again. Why not?
Yeah, we're whores.
Really shows you.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add about the Mega SG? Are you going to buy it?
No, I'm not going to buy it. I'm looking at it right now. $190? Come on.
I've been noticing these a lot. Like, I remember a while back, a lot of YouTubers were promoting a Nintendo version where it was like a premium version. And I'm like, it looks pretty cool. I'm going to look it up because, you know, these old NES games, like, they have problems putting the game in. It was a top loader. I was like, I have to look into it. $400 they wanted for it. Nope.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, and you know, one thing that separates us, this channel, from the YouTubers, people say we're YouTubers, but we don't get any of that free stuff. So when you see these guys up there in the, you know, they got the beards and the hats, they always do, and they're like, what is up, guys? So we were taking a look at this. I got sent one. It is awesome. I love it. We're just two guys who are like, I can't afford $190 Sega Genesis, you know, like...
And everything is awesome in those channels.
Yeah, they're like, this thing is awesome. I definitely recommend picking it up. For me, I'm looking at this stuff and I'm like, I don't know, guys. I didn't get a free one. I don't think you should buy one. But
if you guys are from Mega SG and you guys want to send us a free console, you guys get... Just kidding, guys. See you guys next week. Thanks for the support on Patreon. Bye.
I love you. I love you. I love me.